trends, let's take a look at Tezos, briefos, Lucos at Tezos here, if we can, just kind of keep things kind of neat and simple. Thankfully, compared to some of the other things recently, at least we've had a few days of where we can be more confident that there's been some direction as in the price action, compared to all the other coins I've looked at today, Ethereum, Chainlink, and Bitcoin, where we can say, look, we've had some things happen. We moved up above the 618 here of this zone, back above the up to the 50%. We've kind of asked questions there. We've found support again at 618, and that's up above this 2,800 level, which we've been talking about as being fairly key here for a while here. So we're up above that. Now we're above the sort of profit taking zone, like from the previous moves down that we were talking about as well. So are we at the point now where we can actually start asking questions and seeing if we'll start moving towards the top side? And that'd be decent. So how's this upward trend going in terms of the highs? Are they putting in higher highs? And yeah, okay, so the highs are not divergent. What about the lows? Is there divergence on the lows? Unfortunately for the hidden bullish people, there's no divergences on the lows. So, but that's fine. We've got this upward movement. That's good to see, and everything else. So maybe we can just kind of take it from the swing here, if we call it the swing here, down to the swing low here on the 4-hour time frame, and just kind of ask a couple of questions with regards to Fibonacci in this area here. Just kind of sloppily move that off to the side for now, and just stick a Fibonacci retracement on here from just low time frames, nothing special, just taking a look, going wick to wick here on this one. And where have we made it up to? 50% here. No, we've not made up to 50%. We're above the 236, which is good to see at the 2,800 level. We knew that I think we spoke about this in yesterday's episode as well. Anyway, where this would be at. And yes, we're above there. So we have a valid Fibonacci. We've made it as high as close enough to the 382 at 2,900. When we got to 2,890 there. So that's asking questions, knocking on some doors, but we've not done enough of that quite yet. We've actually made it even higher in terms of the wick here that we saw, on the 18th. So, let's just see if we can keep this upward trend going, and the price targets then you could have just for now in terms of where does the 618 come in at then, would be at that 3,000 area again. So we know all about the chat with the Tezos and the 3,000 sort of area being significant for us, and it will be significant once again in terms of another inflection point in the market when we get up to it in this area just here. Let's just stick a little sort of little line here just so we can remember. And we also know that from the VPVR, as you can see quite clearly, that's where all people sort of disagree with the price the most in that area. So yeah, okay, let's look at the dollar prices. Again, same scenario. We're doing it without the divergence, although this is barely coming in for a high, but it's doing it just now. Spoke too soon. Oh, nope. Okay, so anyway, if we're able to finish off the 4-hour here, the next hour and 20 minutes up above 268, then we'll be doing that again without the divergence and with just an upward trend, and all that's all good. There's no hidden bullish divergence. Well, I mean, I'm ignoring the stochastics here, by the way. If this does turn out to be if these are lows, which are higher, this low and this low and this low, then you could be looking at that saying it's hidden. No, it's just such a small time frame thing, really, is all that's on the go there. Look, are we turning this around or not? Let's just look towards 270 area and the 275 area and say, until such times as we're above 275 and all the rest of it, we haven't done anything different. Need to be moving up above the 200 simple here, for instance, on the 4-hour time frame. Staying up above the 50 simples good as we have here. That's the 50 today, by the way. You can see on the 4-hour time frame there was this death cross. We've come up since the death cross on the 4-hour time frame to test the 50. Want to at least test the 200 and put a real question in about that, and challenge this instead of just accepting it and acquiescing for a negative cross on that one. And we're between the two here. Is this going to be an inverted head and shoulders, just shaping up on the 12-hour time frame to sort of mark the end of this downward 12-hour time frame, short term since the 1st of June downward trend that's been on the go here, maybe, and that's translated into a few days of positive price action towards the top side on the 24-hour time frame. So let's just see shoulder, head, some sort of shoulder coming in here, and the neckline being at there where we're talking at 275. So 275 down to the head of 250 is a 25 cents type move take you up to that $3 target again, so we can have that $3 question and live the $3 dream again. And that's where everything's tying together on this one really for us. I suppose I'm kind of just maybe speaking it out a bit fast, but there it all is. Anyway, let's look at Ethereum. 12-hour time frame, same sort of chat. We've not got no head and shoulders type stuff on the go here. It's curving around a bit, yeah, with the touch of the bullish divergence just as we're coming in here on this one. So yeah, again, though we're still looking towards previous areas. For instance, the 12, can we get above? This is 11.6, we'll call it. So can we get above 12? And start to try and trend towards the upside. Haven't been trending towards the downside since April. Bear in mind, since April we've been trending towards the downside there. A lot of sideways since January. So this year, on the run up to this year, we just went sideways, up a chunk, then down since April. So let's just see if we can actually get that to turn around here. And we are in the low end of the range here in terms of this since January, just putting a dotted line in there. So, this is where we would have really hoped to see things turn around at, should we needed to, and that's what's happening. So that's good. Towards the top side, of course, we can do exactly the same thing on the go here and just say, look, this is the kind of what we're looking at between this on Ethereum. I'd like to see it go up to 14 and bust on a way up ahead. And of course, that's far more than 10. That's more than 20%. It's a 30% move towards the top side, almost there on that one. So there's a lot to be said in between times. The biggest area for us to really ask good questions about is going to be 12.5 in the meantime. On this one, that's going to do for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day out there. I'm Rocky Outcrop, your best technical analysis pal in the world. So be sure to introduce me to all your other pals in the world so that we can all be doing the same jazz together. Big shout out to everybody who watches these videos. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for the viewership time and for everything else. I really do appreciate the growth of that you've been and the support for this channel, and everything else has just been great. So thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next episode, which will be tomorrow. Let's hope that we can see things kind of continue towards the top side with Tezos, and for the other parts of the market to kind of maybe get some sort of shake around, maybe have another sort of push towards the top side in Bitcoin, and with any luck, I suppose, and carry this up so that we can go past certain inflection points on Tezos before Bitcoin decides what it's going to do next. Overall, I suppose, is kind of what I'm thinking about just now. Anyway, cool. Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next episode.